Okay, and we are live, and this is officially happening. The epic collab of the century. I've been waiting for this for a while, and because it's pretty special for me. I did have some very interesting, amazing guests here on my channel, but Emmanuel Imenozet is probably the first person I have seen on American English-speaking YouTube when I started to check about from content.
Mm.
And the whole challenge, the 8 minute challenge, watch it. It's like something that kind of stayed in my memory. But before we actually dive into From, I mean, we didn't have enough time to properly speak. And I would really love to get to know you. Like, how did it all start for you? How did you become a critic? How did you become a YouTuber? Just tell us your life story right now. We are willing to listen, waiting
How
to
much
listen.
time do we have?
Oh, enough. Don't worry. We have enough
No,
time.
no. First and foremost, thank you for having me here. I do want to apologize. I know we missed last week. That was my fault, not on Igor. So everybody that was asking, that was on me. I was
It's
a lot
okay.
going on, so my fault on that. But thank you for having me on. I do appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, just the whole. I guess I'll give you the quicker version of it. I started off by just posting on social media because I really like movies. And after a little bit, people were like, "Hey, you should make a website." And I said, "Okay." So I posted my reviews on a website. Then they were like, "Hey, you should post it on other social media." And I said, "Okay." So I made other social media posts. But the thing is, I got into YouTube almost like 10 years ago, I think, because visually I wanted people to see what I see when I talk about a movie, or if I talk about a TV show. I want you to see what I see. So I started editing videos, I started making content, and it just kind of went from there. I still review movies. For those people that don't know, like, I've been a film critic for at least 10, actually 13 years. And I don't mean I just so happen to jump on YouTube and talk about movies. Like, I'm in Critics' Choice, I'm in different critic associations, I'm part of Rotten Tomatoes. This is what I do, right? Like, I go to award shows, not bragging, but yes, I talk to celebrities, I talk to producers, I talk to directors. This is just part of my actual lane. And it just obviously naturally transitioned into talking about movies to also talking about TV shows. And of course, because I started with Marvel shows and superhero stuff, I love theories. So when I started coming up with theories, people were liking that. And then we get to a show like From,
Oof.
where it's a huge mystery.
Yeah.
Theories are everywhere. It was a natural fit, right? So it was one of those things that just kind of came to me. I came in late, by the way. So I didn't come in season 1, episode 1, and just jump right in. I didn't know anything about From. I think it was not until maybe season 2 that I watched the first season. I was like, "Oh my gosh, what is this show? This is crazy." And then I started talking about it, and I started doing my breakdowns in season 2. And then I went back and did season 1 because I just loved the show so much. And then it was off to the races from there. We were just like, this is gonna be it. I love this show. I'm putting my all into this. I apologize to some people that watch me because they're like, "E-Man, when are you gonna watch this movie?" I don't have time. It's From time
Yeah.
right now. Right now, it's
Exactly.
everything is From. When From is done, then I'll go back to everything else. But yeah, man, that's pretty much the gist of it.
I'm the same with Widow's Bay. I was trying to do a couple of reviews, but now From is taking
It's
absolutely
too
everything.
hard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's impossible. It's like it's not you're not doing one review and that's it. You need to
Mhm.
make, oh, there's another theory, and there's the teaser, and there's what about this video. So I wanted to ask you, how did you actually became, well, you said it yourself, I think, in one of those videos. You became like an unofficial official podcast of YouTube, of From on YouTube, sorry. It kind of feels like that, especially since you have like this list of every passable actor and crew member in the interviews. And thank you so much for never sending me any strikes because I'm using your videos, your interviews. It was I was like trying to get in touch with you, I think, before my first video. And I don't even watch any other people's videos when they interview everybody else, because I tried a couple of times and it was just very generic. And since you are a fan, you know, and you're a professional interviewer, you know what to ask exactly. So we'll get those small pieces of information just to build something. So can you tell me the stories? Just because somehow you got, from being the critic, you got those interviews, and then the cast and the crew kind of got, got in, pretty much connected to you. I'm seeing Harold Pernell reacting to you like, hey man, my friend, I missed you. Yeah.
That's because I bother Harold all the time. I'm like, Harold, you gotta come on, we gotta talk. No, I mean, listen, it all came from a joke, because when I, first of all, I was lucky enough to talk to the creators, John Griffin, Jeff Pinkner, and Jack Bender. And in the interview, I asked, because I was like, I don't understand from a business perspective, if this is MGM Plus, if this is your #1 show, and we know streaming is a game of subscribers, that's what it is. Like, you got to have the subscribers, you got to have the views. That's how they make their money. If this is your #1 show, why don't you have a podcast? Why is it that after the episode, you don't have the producers or the actors talking about what just happened? Why isn't, we've seen that with Game of Thrones, we've seen it with Walking Dead, we've seen it with all these other big name shows. When they have something good,
Severance, everybody pretty much does it.
Something. They have official podcasts, they have this. So I brought it up to John Griffin, and I was like, hey, can you guys do this? Like, I'll be a host if you want. And John was like, hey, you do it. Like, I was like, okay. So that's why I say it's unofficial, because nobody's paying me. But I said, listen, I want to at least show them, not the creators, but like the studio. People want this. This is a show that people talk about. The Fromily is like one of the biggest fandoms I've seen for a non-major IP like Star Wars or Marvel or anything. This is such an organically grown group. I mean, people genuinely love to interact with the show, even if they don't like it, right? They still love to talk about it.
I get so many comments like, I hate this show. I hate it. Why you keep watching then, man?
It's season 4, episode 8, and you still hate it. Shut up. You're still here. Okay, you're not going anywhere.
Exactly.
But yeah, man, I mean, and that's it really. And I think that when you are your authentic self, when you actually love something, I feel like it's contagious. I feel like people can feel it. And that comes across when you're talking to the cast, right? When you get to talk to the cast and they're like, oh, this isn't somebody who's just talking to me to get clicks. They're not talking to me, just to get views. They actually care about the work that I put in. They actually care about the story that I'm trying to tell. Those type of things matter. And that's, I think, how you can come across and have those genuine conversations and have like actual meaningful interactions with the cast and crew.
Well, we can all pretty much see it. I mean, everybody who is joining the live right now, and by the way, we're 300 people, so it's a good time to press that like button, and so the engagement will get bigger. You know me, I never ask for likes other than live streams, because apparently it somehow influences, as I've been told.
Hey, you don't have to do it. I'll do it for you. Hey, everybody, like this video for my man Igor. Please subscribe, because a lot of people cheat. They like to watch and not subscribe. Subscribe. That is going to help his channel get more stuff for you. Like it. Subscribe, please.
Now, I want to actually thank you, by the way, and I want to actually ask you about From. And since I know that you got some screeners before, did you get also screeners about episode 9 and 10, or you're with us in the same line right now? Or do you know what's going to happen tomorrow?
Yes, and I will be very, very careful, because one thing I do not like is
Mhm.
spoilers. I hate spoilers. I hate when other people get spoiled. So if you see me pause for a long
Mhm.
time and I'm thinking, it's because I'm making sure I don't mess anything up.
So
And
I'll make sure also not to ask anything like, who do you think the man in yellow is? Maybe
oh,
you already know.
I will answer whatever I can answer if I can. But yeah, if it's a spoiler, obviously I'll be like, I don't know,
It's
I
like
can't,
with your interview with John Griffin and Jeff Pinkman, which I've seen, I think, about 25 times already, because like I'm preparing for my videos and I'm rewatching this. When you're asking him something and he's saying no, and then
Mhm,
you're asking him something and he's saying stay tuned, I'm like,
mhm.
it means yes. So I'm going to be very careful with the questions, because people are going to get to some conclusion, and I don't want to get any conclusions. We've been talking on Discord before this, and I said to you, like, I got an answer to who is the anchor for Henry,
Mhm,
because someone just put it on the thumbnail on YouTube. Like, I avoid Reddit. I barely get into my own Discord.
mhm.
Like, somebody tags me, Igor, like this person is causing havoc, so I ban somebody and that's it. And I'm like, YouTube, I'm obviously not avoiding, so I'm just logging in and suddenly in my face, I'm like,
I
oh
hate
my,
that. I hate it so much.
I hope you walk and some piano falls on your head for doing this. We're
Yeah.
getting some super chats, and I'm super thankful, grateful for Igor's baby boy. Thank you so much, and I was so excited for this from Tracy Beck. But use those opportunities, ask some interesting questions to Eman, to myself, to both of us. We have this rule, like if somebody's using super chat, we stop, we answer, because we appreciate the support and love. Obviously, it's not the amount of money, it's something that's coming from the heart. So we want to give this kind of support, everything that we can from ourselves. So um, uh, I've prepared so many questions, and now I need to filter them, because I'm extremely excited for tomorrow's episode. I've seen the
Yeah.
teaser, and teaser looks incredible. Like episode 8 was, I wouldn't call it a complete disappointment for me. It was, I had some couple of interesting scenes, but overall, I don't really care too much if nothing happens, because I'm used to it. It's From, sometimes nothing happens. But when characters behave without any logic, like Boyd is asking for a magical pill that will stop visions, and Jade is completely disregarding the man in yellow suit being, like taken away from the office, I'm like, what is going on? Why are you behaving like this? But episode 9 feels like it's gonna be, um, it's gonna completely compensate for all of this. So I'm gonna ask you like this:
Mhm,
you know the fandom,
mhm,
you've been with us for a while, way longer than me.
mhm.
Do you think that season 4 will leave us frustrated or hopeful for season 5, without spoilers, obviously?
So I can tell you how I feel, and maybe some people might feel this. I get the sense that there's a little bit of a disconnect when you think about what fans want and what the creators are making, right? And one of the things that I'm sure you heard in my interview with them, they are more invested in the characters. They're invested in how the characters react, how they interact with one another, and how especially they react to the trauma that they put them through. I
Mhm.
think it was Jeff that mentioned how they found the secret sauce. They found that the most effective thing is making the audience like a character and then making that character suffer. So that is something that when I notice fans are kind of like, oh, this feels like filler. Oh, this isn't good. It's because they're doing more character development. But on the fan side, we like the monsters. We like the supernatural stuff. We like the weird stuff, and that's when people get going. So when the giant dolls came around, everybody's like, let's go. When the monsters come back, with Kenny, for example, yes, now we're back, right? So I think when we get to episode 9, I think people will get closer to what they want in terms of the weird stuff. And then when we get to the finale, I mean, and this is not a spoiler because this happens in literally all the seasons. 9 and 10 are usually directed by Jack Bender. He usually does the first, maybe second episode, then he does the second to last and the last episode. And those are the ones that usually have more supernatural fan stuff in it. So I would say that when we get to episode 9, obviously it's a setup for 10, but we will get to the point where we are going to get excited for it. But I think people will have a lot of mixed feelings about the last scene, because I have mixed feelings on the last scene of the finale. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I can already anticipate a lot of people debating it, and some people are going to love it. Some people might hate it. Take of that what you will.
Okay. I'm going to ask you like this.
Yeah.
Is this, do you expect a lot of new theories?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh,
now, and I know some people get mad at me because they feel like I'm a theory, dictator or something. I don't have a problem with theories. I have a problem with bad logic, if that makes sense. So
it makes a lot of sense.
Okay. So for example, if Boyd says, let's just say Boyd's anchor was Ellis. I mean, that's obvious. That's his son. And somebody says, no, it's actually, Ethan. Boyd cares more about Ethan than Ellis. Now, that's bad logic, right? Like nothing in the show has demonstrated that Boyd cares more about Ethan than he does Ellis. Those are the type of things that I kind of reject when it comes to theories and stuff. So I think what the fandom needs to accept is theory making, and this is actually with anything, not just from theory making, is extremely fun, but it can be very dangerous. And what I mean by that is sometimes the theories can be better than the damn show itself, right?
Agreed.
Sometimes the theories are more awesome and more fantastic. And what I always say, my motto is usually speculate with no weight. You can speculate that this might happen, but don't put any weight that it must happen. Because if it doesn't happen, the only person that's going to be disappointed is you. Because you put your hopes, you poured your hopes into that theory. And now because the show doesn't do that, now you're mad and you think the show is bad. That's not the show's fault that they didn't do your idea. So I say that because when the show tells us something, or if they confirm something, and let's just say it goes against whatever your personal theory is, you have to be willing to change that. And I do think in the next couple episodes, 9 and 10, we're going to get confirmed facts about certain things in this place and certain characters that I know some people have certain theories that are ongoing, but I need people to be willing to pivot once you learn something new. So new evidence, new theories.
Saying all that, you already know that there's going to be enough people that even when they present it with facts, they will say, no, it's a lie. And I'm going to prove you why.
I know. Listen, and here's the thing. If it's a lie, wait for it to be confirmed to be a lie. And then change. It's okay. We don't have to be right. I can't tell you how many times I've made a theory and it was completely wrong. And I'm okay with that.
Of course.
Right? The fun is making it up. It's not sticking to it because you have to be right. That's not fun. It's okay to be wrong.
I think after my first live this season, I was still given chance, not given chance. I was still like, I would make my own review. And then when I would start watching other people reviews, I never watch reviews before I do my video because I want to keep my head clean. Yeah. And I don't want to see, maybe I missed something, right? I don't want to I'm going to be the only one. Maybe I missed something. And then I started to watch a couple of videos and it's all like, me, I was right about this one. And by the way, I was super right about this one. And as I told you, I'm like, can you get it to the point of the video already and stop patting yourself on the back? I think I said this many times. Like, it's nice when I'm being proven right about something, but most of the time I don't give a shit. Like, I'm enjoying the process, and also like I'm not hiding. I'm also making money on this. This is pretty fruitful for my family right now. So even if eventually I'm wrong about everything, but people enjoy my videos and they watch my videos and they have fun with it, like, why do I care? I'm not going to get extra points for being right. I'm having a couple of super chats here. We have a super chat from Shawnee Caulfield. After every episode, I run to watch Iman's reviews, sleep, wake up, then watch Igor's. No better from reviewers on YouTube. Thank you both for all you do. Thank you so much, Shawnee. I think we have Think Story. I don't think the Think Story deep dives as much as both of us, but his ability to dance his videos and make them like so interesting in 15 minutes, the way his story tells, is hats off. I'm striving to this level of storytelling. And we have a question, Beef Supreme 4330. What do you guys think about the Lonely Dragon gives a map of the rainbow sky to the Chrominocle? I only know of one rainbow sky, Eloise's tombstone. So is it something that you can theorize about, or do you already know the answer?
I have theorized about it. First of all, let me ask, do you have a theory about the Lonely Dragon story? Or
no, not really, actually. Okay. No.
So this was, if I'm not mistaken, in season 1. I forget the exact episode or whatnot. I want to say it's around 7 or 8, maybe. But what I have theorized is that this has to do with Ethan. Ethan always spoils the story. He's been doing it ever since episode 1. Every time Ethan speaks, he's spoiling something in the future. So if you go back and listen to what Ethan was saying when he was in the storage room of the diner, he was talking to his mom, Tabitha, and he was saying, "Oh, this reminds me of the story of the Lonely Dragon, and the Lonely Dragon, the Chrominocle goes into the cave, and the Lonely Dragon gives her a map, blah, 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 blah." That, to me, was setting up exactly what happens in season 2, episode 1. He spoiled that episode because Tabitha is the other Chrominocle, right? There are 2 Chrominocles, if you recall. So when they were living in Colony House, and Jim was reading the story of the Chrominocle, and they were making the noises and stuff, Tabitha got up and was like, "Oh, I'm the Chrominocle too." That's the little foreshadowing right there. So not only was this about Tabitha, Victor is the Lonely Dragon, right? He's the one that found himself in a cave in the tunnels, and he was giving her a map, basically, of how to get in and get out of there, right? And so I think that that's what the foreshadowing was all about. It was basically talking about Tabitha being the Chrominocle, meeting the Lonely Dragon, Victor. He's the only person that's been lonely for 40 plus years, and going into the cave and finding the map. Now, what that map actually is, that's a different question. Is the map, for example, the layout of the tunnels? Is the map something else? We don't know that. But I think what that was always in reference to was that episode.
Okay. That's interesting. I never put too much thought about this, about the Chrominocle, etc. I've been bothered about them first referring to Chrominocle as a she and then as a he. I'm like, what is going on? But then there is the 2 Chrominocles for the cave, 2 Chrominocles for you. So maybe there's a boy and a girl there. So I love the explanation that Julie gave us this season, that maybe not the books are influencing this place, but this place is actually influencing the books. And if it's actually the case, how does it work with this theory? We have a story that it still didn't unfold, but already is somehow written in the book. And Chrominocle, another thing that is kind of bothering me with the whole theories about the Chrominocle, that most of them don't really talk about anything time related, right? And Chrominocle, the whole name is really like Chronos, Chronicles, somehow related to time travel. When Julie was talking about Ethan's books and trying to find some answers in them, I was 100% sure it's going to be the Chrome and Knuckle talking about the time travel, and suddenly we got the adventures of the Grand Gulligog there. So there is my biggest, I would say, beef with this TV show. It's not exactly beef. I'm not really angry about this, but every time I think I connect two pieces, there's suddenly a new piece that you can stuck it in the middle and nothing works anymore. And like, when it's gonna connect everything already to one big beautiful image, hopefully soon, but I do believe it's actually gonna happen in season 5. And I actually kind of want to divert here a little bit and ask you a question slash my big hope. Are we gonna get in the end of season 4 an interview with the creators like in the end of season 3? Is it something that's gonna happen?
That your guess is as good as mine. All I can do is ask, and then the powers that be, it's up to them. I asked, what month is this? It's June. I asked back in April. I said, hey, can we make this happen? Can we do this? And they were like, we'll see. So I don't want to put any expectations out there. If that I don't get a hardcore yes, I'm just like, I'm going to assume no. But I'll be surprised if they say yes. I hope so.
There is some kind of a change in policy. Like, obviously, I'm not doing the interviews as you are. I had an interview with Douglas Hughes, like Man in Yellow. Last year, he was just getting the spotlight and he was giving interviews to everybody. There was no limitation. So he's such an amazing guy, by the way. He jumps to my live stream sometimes. I'm just excited. And this year, I was once again DMing him on Instagram. Whenever you want, I'll find time. Like, just to have a conversation. I don't care what I'm gonna talk to you about. We can talk about you riding the bicycle, etc. He's like, he agreed, and then the next day he wrote to me that there is a new policy that he's not gonna be able to speak to anybody anymore, other than the main cast. Like the main cast are the only one who's speaking right now. So maybe there's gonna be, I don't know, but I'm gonna cross my fingers and like pray to all of the gods, to Men in Yellow. Hopefully you will get this interview, because those are freaking diamonds. And we have another super chat. This is awesome from Creek152. Love you guys. I can't wait for 9 and 10. And thank God season 5 is already confirmed. I would love to ask you, how did you feel when season 5, and it was also not just confirmed, but it was also said that it's going to be the final season and we're going to get all the answers? What were your feelings at this moment? Happiness?
Mixed. You know, like on one hand, as a content creator, I love the certainty of it, because there were times after season 2 we didn't know if we were getting a season 3. You know, I'm like, why wouldn't you? Like, you can't leave us hanging like this. You better give us a season 3. And then even after season 3, it was kind of like, are we going to get a season 4? We don't know. Then they finally get a season 4. And I'm like, listen, you can't tell me this is your #1 show and you don't know if you're going to do another. Just get on another season, right? So I love the fact that they didn't waste any time before the season even came out. They were like, we got season 5. But it's also going to be the final season. And that's where I have mixed reactions, because on a positive note, I love whenever, and John has said this before, he said they knew the beginning and how this was going to end from the very beginning. They always knew if they only have 4 seasons, they know how to wrap it up. If they only have 3, they know how to wrap it up. So they know how to end the whole story. And that right there is exactly what I want. I want my creators to have a definitive endpoint, so that way they can end the story on their own terms. They're not forced, they're not rushed, etc. At the same time, as a fan, I'm like, oh man, it's gotta end. I'm like, oh man, like I've grown so accustomed to this show and the characters, like I kind of don't want it to end. But then, even on top of all of that, there's so much pressure. If we're being very honest, there's so much pressure that when you have a long journey for a show and you have so much investment, and I'm talking like Game of Thrones, right? Game of Thrones had us in a chokehold for like 6-7 seasons, like just constantly every episode. But the way you end it is how people will remember you the most. So
Exactly.
there's a lot of pressure to make sure that after all this time, whether you liked it or not, how you end this series is going to be critical for how it's going to make its place in TV history and in our own minds. Because if they have a terrible series finale, if they all wake up and it was all a dream, or let's just say it was something stupid, we'll be like, you wasted 3-4 years of our lives. You wasted our time. But if it's something amazing, oh, we'll be going back to watch this all over again. We'll be talking about this show forever. So, or I would say like The Boys. I don't know if you've seen the Boys series.
Yeah, I've
Great
seen.
journey, wonderful journey. The finale, not great, not bad, kind of safe, and it's like, you're like, it's a good show.
Yeah.
Could have been great, but it's a good show.
Was
So,
meh. I agree. Like, yeah, the ending was
yeah.
like, if you build up so much that Homelander is dangerous and you eventually don't show how dangerous he is, it's disappointing. I can see why people. I got pretty much disappointed already at season 4. I think I was watching for Carl Urban and his chemistry with Jeffrey Dean Morgan, like in season 4. This was what I was tuning for, and then I like already invested season 5. I have to finish this. And of course, Jensen Ackles, because I'm a huge Supernatural fan, and I will see everything that this guy does, even when it's not really good, working good. But anyway, we don't want to digress too much. And I have 2 super chats here that I want to, of course. One. So cool to see you both together. Are there any theories either of you would love to see confirmed on screen, however unlikely it may be? And another we have from Silent Spectre. He's saying, yeah, I'm a big fan of From. What's up, guys? We're actually talking here about From, Silent Spectre. Now, regarding theories, for me, I would love to see Boyd's boat being somehow as a tool for escaping this place, maybe through the lake, like we have seen it on the Polaroid. We have seen the house and we didn't see the boat. And there's many theories that you escape this place somehow on the water and not on the road. But if not, once again, if not, I don't really care. Like, once again, as you said it, there is a very good movie. You probably have seen it. It's called Adaptation with Nicolas Cage. He's playing like a screenwriter with his twin brother, and he needs to write a movie about a flower. And he's killing himself. Like, how do I write a movie adapting a book that nothing happens in the book? And he's talking to, I think Brian Cox is playing Robert McGee, who is an actual real person, who's like some kind of like an expert in screenwriting. I have his book, Story. It's called The Story. And he's saying to him something that I remember for like, I'm going to remember for all my life. And he's saying to the, like, surprise them in the end and they will forgive you everything. Disappoint them in the end and they will never forgive you, no matter how good you were until the end.
Right.
So this is exactly like agreeing with what you say. Like, if the ending is going to stick the landing, it's going to be remembered as one of the best mystery box TV shows. But if it's going to be something stupid, then it's going to be something stupid. And by the way, something stupid. Are you frustrated as frustrated as I am with the new? Oh my God, what was the Tabitha's reflection in the window? Oh, by the way, Fatima wasn't able to open the door because she's one of the monsters. And now we have, did you see the ballerina? And actually the nurse in in Henry's visions is the same actress. Like, every video of mine, every live stream, I get those people with coming the biggest revelation of all. And it's like, with Tabitha in the reflection and Fatima, it still leaves some, space for this theory. But checking who are the actresses that play the ballerina is so easy. It's 2 clicks.
Right there in the credit. It's right there.
Every season we have one of those moments here.
Yes,
Okay.
I have a handful of theories that bother me. Back in the past, it was Sarah who had worms in her arms. When the thing came up, I was like, that those are not worms, people. It's just the same special effects. It's not worms. What else? People wanted Sarah to go after the boy and they're like, oh, it wasn't Ethan, it was actually Victor, you know, or it was the boy in white. How would she be able to go kill the boy in white? He's not even alive. Like, what are you talking about? Victor's not
He's
a
not
boy.
even a
Why would
boy.
he? What do you mean? Like, and even if they wanted Sarah to go after Victor, why is it that she looked at Ethan, went after Ethan, and the voices weren't like, hey, no, not this one, the other one?
Good. Go the other
Why
way.
didn't they correct it? Like, this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes we have to let go of certain theories that don't add up. Just because you like it does not necessarily mean that's what the show is doing. Again, it's okay to pivot. It's okay. It does not have to be that.
Yeah, but coming back to the question, because I've talked a while about it, is there a certain theory that you really want to be confirmed? Like, you will be happy if it's confirmed?
Oh yeah, I got two actually. One thing I really want to be confirmed is that Eloise is still alive, because I feel like the way they've been hinting at this, Victor being a completely unreliable narrator, guy doesn't even remember he had a sister, you know, doesn't even know if I think I buried her. I don't know.
Who knows how many people are there in his family anymore, right? Like this.
You cannot listen to Victor all the time. Like, you have to take what he says with a grain of salt. But yeah, I would love for Eloise to just show up and just do something. I don't know, just be around. And then of course my own theory of the Man in Yellow. I've been very adamant for a long time that Martin is the Man in Yellow. Like, that was him in disguise. And you know, I've got 2 videos pointing out the same patterns, the commonalities. And here's the thing, I didn't believe it, right? Like, I take my own advice. Anytime I make a theory, I try to disprove it first, because it's not about being right. I don't need to pat myself on the back. I need to try and make my theory not true first. And if I can't do that, then I have to lean on the evidence. I don't have to be tied to it. I just have to be like, okay, this seems more likely than not. So for me, I think that I think Martin is the Man in Yellow, and I would love for that to be confirmed.
Well, actually, building on that, I would love to something, because here we kind of disagree, because I don't think that it's not even. I don't think that Martin is the Man in Yellow. I can see your point. Like there are a lot of logical evidence, as you say yourself, in this theory. The only thing that's bothering me, I don't see what was the point of the whole charade with Boyd for transferring the worms. So I don't like, why do you need the whole, like, I need to kill me, please kill me? What was the point of the whole like theater there? If you eventually, what you do is you grab Boyd, you cut his hand, and you give him your blood. So, and there is, what do you think, by the way, the voices in Sarah's head? Is it always the Man in Yellow, or is it just Sophia basically using the same frequencies and just pretends to be the same voices that?
Which one do you want? Do you want to go with the voices or the Martin?
Both of them, if you we have enough time, I think.
So I think with Sarah, because just going back and listening to season 1 again, I think Sarah is like a supernatural conductor. Like, she just can pick up these frequencies or whatever. Because I remember she specifically said when her and Boyd were in the woods walking or whatever, she was like, oh no, this time the voice were different.
Yeah,
so
and it was Abby at this point.
Like, before it was like, oh no, it's the same voice. And if you think about it, the same voice that she was hearing before always had her doing something evil. But this one voice, this one time that was different, was like, don't do this. Hey, don't go there. Mr. Fish and Loaves. Something that only Abby would know. So that's where I was kind of like, okay, that kind of makes sense, because I'm a firm believer that Jade's theory is true. That, you know, this place uses hopes, fears, souls as energy, and they're all trapped here. So if you die here, your soul is here. We know with Victor talking about the children pouring their hopes into the roots, then the roots have this energy from these children, right? So I do think that for Sarah, she was hearing different voices, but she might not always know who's right and who's wrong. That's the real problem with her. As for Martin and the whole worm thing, so I admit that there is information we don't know yet, and that does not make this theory 100% foolproof. I fully admit that. What I would okay. What I would say is that you have to look at the stuff in reverse. When you go further into season 2, what happened? The voices, who we know are the man in yellow, were laughing at Boyd. But what did they say? They were laughing at Boyd for freeing it from that place. Well, if you were freed from that place, that implies naturally that you were trapped or maybe even imprisoned in that place. What that gives me an impression of is, let's just say it was the man in yellow or just this entity. It found its place in this other pocket dimension, and it could not come back without someone or something to bring it back. It just was not able to do that. But it found a way to trick Boyd. And to your point about like, why would it sit here and say kill me? That's because it was playing off of Boyd's trauma. We know Boyd has this hero complex. We know that Boyd cannot resist trying to save people even if they don't want to be saved. And the other thing that we know is that, at least with the man in yellow, he deceives by telling you the truth. When he will tell you truthful things, but he'll do that to get a deceitful outcome. So he'll tell you, like, hey, if you do this, you might be able to get that, or you'll get this, right? So, like, even at the end of episode 8, when he was talking to Tabitha, he said, like, oh, you're going after the bones. That's exciting. That's great, right? But, like, that doesn't mean that what they're doing is wrong, but it doesn't mean that they may or may not get the same outcome. So like, this is kind of the pattern of abuse that he does. He's kind of like for my biblical folks out there, he's like the snake in the Garden of Eden, right? Like, who tempts Adam and Eve. He will say, like, hey, did God really say not to eat the fruit? Are you sure? Yeah, yeah, kind of didn't say it, but then he did imply it. And if you
didn't read the fine print there,
they don't look at the fine print. So that's the way the man in yellow always operates. And I feel like that's what he's been doing. He manipulated Sarah with her good intentions. Like, hey, if you do this bad thing, you can get everybody home. He was playing on her and her weaknesses. And Boyd's weakness is, I can't leave people behind. I'm a military guy. Oh, you just so happen to be a Marine too, just like my wife. What a coincidence. I mean, come on now. Like, it's so anyway, that to me, like I said, I think when you stack up all the evidence, when you stack up all the commonalities, when you stack up the fact that we have blood magic, which is a constant thing, specifically with the man in yellow, like, just out of nowhere, he just happens to know my blood is your blood. Like, and he was carrying something. He was carrying the exact thing that he feared, because it was in an episode, season 1, episode 9 or 10, Boyd was like, yeah, worms are creepy, and then all of a sudden, that's the thing that he's carrying inside of him. It's too many coincidences. I don't know.
Once again, I'm seeing a lot of your points. Like myself, I'm more leaning towards maybe something was inside Martin's body that is controlling him. And I still don't know, like I in my last video, I was like, I'm still confused, because in your interview with Harold, he said, like, the fans will be surprised of what the man in yellow is. And then the man in yellow saying to Tabitha, he's saying, don't you know who I am? So I still don't know whether it's a who or a what. Hopefully
might be both.
Might be both. Yeah. So But anyway, I'm slacking here. We get a lot of super chats here. I need to read all of them. We get Ivy Pack, $10. Thank you so much for your support. Great to see two of my favorite together. PTSD from Game of Thrones. Do you think I'll need to take a day off after the final? I hope not. I hope nobody's gonna forget that there is an army there, and we don't have a Cersei here. In my opinion, she needed to suffer way more in the end of this TV show. I hate her with a passion of thousand burning stars. So hopefully it's gonna be better. But you know exactly what's gonna happen after the final of From. Everybody, including myself, and I think Iman too, we're gonna dive into YouTube and we're gonna see what did we miss, how did we connect all of it, because I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be the final episode of From. Suddenly John Griffin comes out and he's like, so question number one, I'm gonna answer to you right now.
Right.
We're gonna probably, a lot of questions are gonna be left. So we have Silent Spectre sent us €5, 99% that Clara is Eloise because she ain't that much in show. Just sometimes I just want to hear you guys' thoughts on it.
She can't be. She's too young.
Exactly. Like I don't.
Clara is only a couple years younger than Victor. One clue that you guys can
Eloise
have, and it's not a big secret. A lot of the characters are based off of real life things of the actor. So for example, it's not a coincidence that Jade just so happens to know to play the violin. David Alplay knows how to play the violin, right? Like he knows French, like those things. So the so Tabitha Carolina, she is born in 1981. That's around the time, I want to say 2-3 years when Miranda died, right? Miranda was around in the late 70s in the town. She dies somewhere around that time. So when she dies, that's when Tabitha is then born. So people cannot be reincarnated unless and until that previous person dies. But yeah, if it was Victor's sister, like that would have to mean she'd be like in her maybe late 40s or early 50s, and Clara clearly is not anywhere that.
Yeah. There's the theory that maybe she's story walking, but then again, like what has she been doing then for 4 seasons? Like she's just always on the background. I think she's pretty much just there. Like one of my small pet peeves with the creators was season 1 when we had the mustache guy, the Virgin Mario, as I call him, the one that let Jasmine in.
Oh, Dum Kevin? Yeah.
Dum Kevin, yeah.
Yeah.
So my small pet peeve with him and the Eric guy, the guy who hung himself, like give them just a little bit more time on the screen in the first episodes. Then it will be more impactful, because when this guy hung himself in episode 9, I was like, okay, then moving on. I don't really care. And with Clara, now we have this character that basically the creators can do whatever the hell they want with her. And it's already not, just another NPC who bites the dust. It can be, it's Clara. She kind of became like, I think I gave this an example in my review, like one of my favorite fantasy, not shows, the show was not that good, series is The Wheel of Time. I grew up with this series, a lot of books, and there's this horse there, Bella, which is basically people ride the horse. That's it. And the fans had theories for years that Bella is actually the creator, or no, she's actually the Dark One. She's the most evil entity. Like crazy, funny theories. And like, I think the same with Clara. People thinking she is the man in yellow. She's just somebody on the background. That's it. Yeah. So we can move on with this one, I think.
And let me just say, I hate that the previews showed people any of that, because when I tell you, when I first, again, even if I get the screeners, like I don't get trailers, I don't get previews or anything. I just go from one screener to the next. And when I found that out, I was blown away. Like, it was like, what? Because it's in the first 4 minutes of the episode. And I was just like, why would you show this? Why would you show people this? Because I'm telling you, like, if you did not know about this, if they never showed you anything about it, it would blow everybody away, the way that they set it up, the way that they build it up. And I was just like, there's a huge surprise that everybody just loses out on.
Like with the scarecrows.
With the scarecrow. I was like, you didn't have to show that. We don't know what it was, but now that you showed me a big wall, I'm staring at the wall the whole time, like, all right, 3, 2, 1, there it is. You know,
There it is, exactly.
that could have been a crazy surprise for us. This is why
I
I
would
hate
probably
spoilers.
jump off of my chair at this moment.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's I don't know why they're doing this, honestly. I mean, after episode 1 or 2, they released like this teaser with Julie story walking to the massacre, and Jade is seeing everybody of his visions playing the violin. And I was like, what? Why?
Oh, I hated that too. When they showed his past lives, I was like, why would you show this? Why would you do this? Like, you guys are killing me here. Like,
the family, somebody who's outside of the family, they don't really care.
Yeah, no, but we're not worried about them. I don't care about them. I care about the family. I don't care about nobody else outside of here.
We don't want to know these things before. We want to know them during the episodes. Yeah, I was like, why? But then again, like as a creator, I cannot miss this opportunity because it's one of my most watched videos when I'm analyzing the teaser. So obviously I'm doing this. But then again, like as a fan, as you said it yourself, like there is this, sometimes there's a difference between those two things.
I want to make sure I make that clear too. Like, I respect that, right? I respect because people have asked me too, like, hey, can you do breakdowns on the previews and stuff? And I'm like, first of all, it's hard enough to do my recap and videos and stuff because it takes a long time. Like, it takes maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks for me to like do one episode at a time. So that's why I need these in advance so early, so I have time to edit. I have time to go back to make sure that I'm accurate. You know, I'm doing my research and stuff. And if I'm watching these things ahead of time, there's no way I'm not gonna lie to people. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I wonder what's gonna happen next. Like, no, I'm not gonna lie to you. I know what's gonna happen, and I don't want to accidentally be like, oh man, can you guys believe Victor died in this? And no, I'm not gonna do that. So to all the people that are asking, like, how come you don't do the trailer? That's why, because I don't want to ruin it for anybody. But I respect the fact that other folks do it, because at least you're giving people the opportunity to choose to watch you, right? What I don't like is like what happened to you when people are like doing these breakdowns and they're putting up a big spoiler as a thumbnail. You can't unsee what that, you know, like, you're scrolling and then all of a sudden you see the giant dolls or something, or you see somebody die, or it's like, that's not okay. But I'm very okay with you doing those kind of things, because whoever wants to watch it, they can go watch it. Whoever doesn't, you don't have to. And we can both have both things at the same time.
Well, with my reviews, I also, since the time difference, etc., I always release my video like a day later, I think, for United States. So when I already give myself a little bit more freedom. I put some little details from the episode itself. When I'm doing a thumbnail for the teaser, I will put 2 faces there, like never, oh my God, what's gonna happen there? So, but call me jealous, man, a week. I'm waking up and until the end of the day, I'm like crazy. Watch the episode, analyze, ChatGPT, Google everything. I need to gather some more information, record it. Oh my God, eat something, edit like crazy. So yeah, I mean, I would kill for the screeners probably.
Hey, let me tell you something. The grass always looks greener on the other side. But what I tell people all the time, if the grass looks greener, you still have to mow it. You still have to take care of it.
No, I'm not.
You know, it's still work.
A lot of work. Definitely a lot of work. I just wish I would have the opportunity to, you know, also it's not only just like my main job right now, mostly, even though right now I'm focusing completely on YouTube right now, this is the main source of income for me. But before that, and probably after the season 4 is going to be over, it's video editing. So I'm editing videos for businesses, etc. So this is also like I'm forgot the word, like I'm losing a lot of quality for my videos because I'm in the rush, because I don't want to be late. And like my videos, when I'm putting a lot of effort in it, like from Soul Theories, I have this video for almost 1.5 hours. You can look it up and you can see how it looks when I'm putting a lot of effort in the video and I'm not rushing.
Listen, I used to edit videos for years. I understand. I understand. I feel
So we have another super chat from Wintry Rachel. Julie already proved a story can be changed in episode 1 when she added to the story she told Ethan and resurrected the finger puppets. Thought? I don't think I understand the question.
So the creators have been saying, and the boy in white said this also, that the answers are in the beginning. So for everyone's like, what's the they're not giving us any answers. Well, technically they have given us the answers. We just don't know how to identify the answers yet, because that's just the way the story is being told. Jade also alluded to this. This is kind of what the writers do. The writers like to use what they call subtext, where they're not telling you things directly, but they tell you things indirectly to give you an answer. So, for example, when people ask, like, hey, how come the monsters don't run? Kenny gave you that answer in season 1, where he says, I think it's just because it's more fun for them. They used to run, but they don't. And John confirmed that. Griffin, he was like, yeah, what Kenny said was the answer as to why they don't run. So, in terms of the super chat and what they were talking about, Julie was telling the story to Ethan about, the fairies and Norman and with the finger puppets or whatever. And then she, was like, oh, Norman dies, whatever. And then Tabitha comes in and was like, oh, monsters aren't real, so don't worry about it. Now, this is where I have to think about this more. So I'll give you guys a rough theory, very rough theory. I don't think you can actually change a story. Because if you can change a story after it's been told, keep in mind, the writers are very specific. No one in TV, every word that's said, that's time and money. They're not just going to say stuff just for the sake of saying stuff. If they say very specific things, these are people that sit down with a pen and paper on a computer and they're like, we have to make sure every single word matters. It's not like they said a story can never be changed. They said a story cannot be changed once it's been told. That means that as long as that part of the story is told, that whatever happened before that cannot be changed. But that does not mean that you can't tell another story. It doesn't mean, because that's essentially what Tabitha's came in and did. She came in and was like, let me give you a whole nother story. She didn't go in and say Norman didn't die and the Lake of Tears wasn't she didn't say that. She came in and told a whole different story. So I think if we're talking about how this can work, no, you cannot change a story once it's been told, but you can always say something else. Now, how they do that, that's a whole different story. We don't know how they can do that, but I don't think that you're going to have two characters with Ethan and the man in yellow, which is another pattern this show does. When you have two or more characters telling you a fact, that's the writer saying this is a hardcore fact. If it's coming from two different perspectives, that means it's a fact. You cannot change a story once it's been told. But like I said, you could maybe do something else.
It's an interesting explanation. I don't think I have anything to add. Megan Dolan here is she's saying, I want to talk about Tilly. I think she's good. Fatima killed her when she was pregnant with Smiley. Monster/Man in Yellow would want her dead. What do you think about Tilly? There were a lot of theories about her that she's somehow connected to the evil forces of this place. And when she got killed, probably it removed a lot of suspicions towards her, but still, I still hear a lot of theories. What do you think?
Have you ever watched Scooby-Doo?
Yeah, but I don't remember that much already.
But you know the pattern, right?
Of course, yeah.
Somebody is doing a crime, somebody thinks it's a monster, the gang goes out to solve the crime and the mystery. In every episode of Scooby-Doo, there's always at least one character that looks extremely suspicious. It's this mean-looking person. He doesn't like this, and he's always the most obvious bad person. And everyone's like, if you're a kid, you're like, oh, it's got to be that guy, right? That's what Tilly was, I think. Tilly was, I think, a character that was meant to be more of a distraction than an actual integral part of the story. She acted strange. She acted weird, but it wasn't because she was like supernaturally charged or anything like that. Thank you. Yes, a red herring. She was an old person at the end of her life who accepted the fact that she was going to die. Guess what? That's not going to act like you or me. You know, that person is not going to think like you or me. You know, I don't sit here thinking about my life being over in the next 2 weeks or the next couple of days and trying to live out the best and enjoy the rain while I still can. You know, I haven't had like she did. She had kids. She had 7 kids or all these grandbabies and all this stuff. Of course, I don't know about you, but like women have this sixth sense that us men don't have. And when they can sense another woman being pregnant out of nowhere, I just say, okay, that's a woman thing. You know, I don't see that as like supernatural. I don't see it as weird. It's like, no, that's just some women just have that inclination, you know, or whatever. So, and the other thing too is when we have Sophia, we have the man in yellow right here. Think about the fact that obviously we know this is a cycle. We know that this has been going on at least for maybe 400 something years, going all the way back to the 1600s, if not earlier. The man in yellow has no real reason to change because it's been going on and on and on. So much so that he even has his favorite parts. So when you can take from that is if he is this person that can exist for hundreds of years and he has no real reason to change because he likes how things work, why would his behavior be so different than it was with Tilly? If you think Tilly is the man in yellow. We know how the man in yellow operates. We know the man in yellow goes around doing things that causes people to just die or to suffer or to blackmail them or do magic. We really didn't see much of that with Tilly. The most we saw was her praying. She was using a tarot card. We didn't even get to see what the card was, you know, and that's about it. Like she was actually caring about people. She was actually trying to help people. She even tried to tell Fatima, like, yo, you got to run. Why? Because common sense says if somebody knows that you murdered them, you know, in this place, they're going to turn on Fatima, just like they did with Sarah. So she cared about Fatima. She cared about all these other people that were around. So for me personally, I've rejected the idea that Tilly was the man in yellow in disguise. Not to mention, like, I'm pretty sure people would have noticed Tilly's body not there anymore. Because keep in mind, they filled up all the graves, right? Like they don't have any more room. So it's kind of like, you don't think somebody's gonna notice that Tilly's body's gone? If she was the man in yellow. So yeah, it don't add up for me.
I never thought that she is the man in yellow. She was the man in yellow. I had suspicions about Tilly, but not because she was dancing in the rain or because I think in episode 4 in season 2, you can see a lot of her just walking around and like saying, oh, by the way, Sarah came back. Oh, by the way, Kenny went there. It felt like a little bit like manipulation. But the main reason why I thought there is something about Tilly is because episode 6, I think, season 1, it's book 74 by Katri is telling that we live in book 74. And then the number 47 are pretty much becoming very important here. And season 4 kind of confirmed it already, kind of solidified it with, oh my God, we have 47 people here. We had 47 people before Jim was murdered. And also, like, if Katri is actually right and they are in the biblical book of some sort, it's probably not the New Testament and Jesus' story about forgiveness, etc. It's more look like a lot like an Old Testament, where everybody's horrifying and there's a lot of punishment and bad things after bad things.
Sacrifices.
And also Old Testament is 46 books. So if they're actually in the book, they're not in the book 74, they're actually in the book 47. So we have it on the radio, 47. We have Tabitha's room, 2225, which is obviously a stretch, but still, it's still there. And then when Tilly said, I had 4 children and 7 grandchildren, then I was like, okay, are they really trying to make it a red herring? So we will go like 47, or maybe there is something there.
So to your question, because I don't know, I find the 47 thing fascinating. I haven't looked deep into it to see where it connects. So I guess my question for you would be, do you think the 47 thing is only isolated to Tilly, or is it an overarching thing for the entire series, or maybe the whole town?
Yeah, I think it's somehow connected to the whole story. Now, the
Mm,
most logical thing that comes to my mind, since this, there is this trigger here that starts the story, right? People were before the Matthews arrived living for years in this place,
yeah.
but the story starts to unfold when the two cars arrive. This is like the starting point, and everything goes on and on and on and on. So maybe the original story actually had 47 people, and this is why the number is important. This is what makes sense to me. Like,
Yeah.
once again, the reason, probably most likely 99.99%, you're correct here, there is nothing about Tilly, and it's probably was just, the creators are toying with us. There's a very popular theory about the tarot cards, and now we have the tarot with Tilly, and we have Jim as a hangman in this season 4. So probably not, but I'm still not 100% ready to dismiss it all.
Sure.
Like, I don't think she was this evil entity of some sort. I hope that there's going to be something more about Tilly. Maybe, maybe not. Once again, if not, I'm not going to be disappointed too much. But the numbers 47, if they're going to be like in Lost, when people like for years and years, they were killing themselves. What are those numbers? What are those numbers? And eventually it was just something random. I don't even remember what it was. If you're like, really? So the same thing for me with 47. If eventually it's going to be like, well, what do you want? 47, just 47, that's it. I'm going to be a bit disappointed about this. Like, if you're leading me somewhere, just get me there. Give me some explanation.
Now, I've said it multiple times. I've only watched 19 episodes of the first season of Lost. And I've tried not to, because I've always hear people say, hey, this is just like Lost, and it's from the people from Lost and all that. But I remember when I asked the creator, because I gave it to him, I was like, hey, a lot of people say that this is just Lost all over again. What do you say to that? And, if you kind of read the mood, it was almost kind of offensive, to them. They were kind of like, no, like, this is my story. I mean, yes, but there are still similarities. Like, there are a lot of common things between both series. So
there is like the black smoke, and then there's Jacob, and here we have the man in yellow and the boy in white. But also I completely understand John Griffin being bothered by that. I'm being bothered by that when people, it's the same as Lost, the same creators. Not really. Like, the guy behind the TV show is John Griffin. Jeff Pinkner just joined him. And in Lost, he wrote 4 episodes. I mean, no disrespect, but obviously he was not the main mind behind this TV show. And like, the only one who was really influential in both TV shows is Jack Bender. But then again, it's a TV show, and a director is not that much of an influencer story-wise. So it's 2 different TV shows. But then again, it's like, this was the golden era of the TV shows, and Lost was the biggest hit, and it was also the biggest mystery show of this period. From is now, I think, even with Severance existing, still the biggest mystery TV show in this era. So this is why the comparison. And Severance is a lot of mysteries, but I wouldn't say it's all about the mystery, right? It's more about like psychology, etc. We have another super chat from Winter Rachel. She's saying, Jim lost the bracelet the night Julie was born. This matters. She's the reason there are multiple bracelets. Maybe she can storywalk outside of From. So bracelets wise, I'm still confused about this whole reincarnation thing, because I can see you making the same bracelet. I still don't see you making the same defect on the bracelet. And why do we have 3 of those? Like, do you have any insight on this? Any idea? Like,
man, I don't know. Like, at first I did, at first I was thinking to myself, like, oh, okay, if she can interact with the story, then that would make sense. Like, she can touch things. Obviously, she threw the rope. She became part of the story. She didn't change anything, but she became part of the story. I'm like, but then the whole reincarnation thing. Well, if it is reincarnation, and you have the same memories and the same whatever, and it's essentially the same person making the same crap. I don't know. Like, it's, to me, it's still kind of messy, but I'm open to the idea that maybe story walking has something to do with it, because again, Julie is able to interact with the story. So anytime Julie does anything in the story, she becomes the cause of it. She's not altering anything. So if the bracelet makes its way into the diner, that's because Julie was always the cause of it, not, she put it there because. But I'm curious as to what the limits are to her story walking. What story can she walk in? Can she walk outside of From in the real world? Because that's going to be the real test, if that's even true. Or, I was curious of like, how far back can she go? At first I was like, can she only go as far back as to when the Matthews got into town? But we found out she can go all the way back to when the last massacre happened, which was late 70s, when the Maniella was eating all the town residents. So I'm thinking like, yeah, she can go back as much as she needs to. I also wonder, can she go forward? Is that possible? I mean, the story hasn't been told yet, so maybe not, but I don't know. I don't know what the rules are yet. And that's kind of the difficulty with this, is we don't know what can and can't happen because it hasn't been explained. Like you said, a lot of things are just kind of left out, and we only got some of the pieces of the puzzle and nothing else.
Well, also she would need to travel outside of Fromville back to when she was born, find the bracelet, and then travel again to before the Matthews family arrive and leave it in the diner. So I don't see, as you said it yourself, it's a TV. They spend money. Every second need to count. So I don't see them spending so much money just to show this. How did the bracelet actually got wind up in the diner?
Can she take things? And again, we don't know this, right? We know that she can interact within a chapter of a story. So when she's in the dungeon, yes, she could pick up that rope and drop it for Boyd within that story. But would she be able to take something from chapter 2 and put it in chapter 5? In episode 5? Because that's what she's doing, right? She's going from chapter to chapter of this story. We don't know if she can do that or not.
It didn't work with the bookmarks, so probably.
Well, and that's the other thing. We don't even know if she knows how the bookmark works. Right? Like, are the bookmarks, I mean, I thought it was a stupid idea in the first place. Like, you're going to drop the paper in the past and you think that was going to show up somewhere in the future? Like, how, or were you going to take it into the real world with your seizure? Like, how did you think that was going to work? But maybe, and this is the closest, I don't even know if this is the problem I hate. We don't have clear rules. I don't know if this is story walking. Some people have said it is. When Boyd went into the dungeon, took that torch, and was able to basically transport back into where they are now, he was able to go from one place to another with something from that other place. If Julie can do that, now we're talking. Now we can have better theories with the bracelet and maybe other things, but it's hard to say where Boyd even was. Was Boyd in a different place, or was he in a different time? And we don't know. Like, we don't know the physics of it.
Exactly. This is driving me insane. Like, we know that while both Julie, Marielle, and Randall were in Fromville, like in their houses, completely out of it, simultaneously they were somehow in this place, chained and suffering. But it's not like it's not a spiritual thing, because when she time travels, when she story walks, you can touch her. She's physically there. So, and Boyd with his, like, people are saying that the torch is a bookmark. Well, maybe it's an interesting idea, but why do you need to light it? Like, does it mean that with every other bookmark there's also
That's
an
a good
interesting
question
theory
too.
that like Victor was picking things, like the boy in white told him to pick things for everybody who was
Yeah.
murdered? Maybe it's also bookmark. So what is, like, you need to light the cigarette now, or you need to wear the earrings for you to time travel? Like, it's
Well, I mean, and this is something I've talked about, was like, clearly there is some value. Again, one of the patterns of this show is when different characters talk about the same concept, that's some sort of fact. Sophia talked about that, the value of these items people have left behind. And she said, oh, it's like they've left a part of themselves, right? And we know that in order for the man in yellow to transform into Sophia, he needs her clothing for whatever reason. Now, I thought it was the teeth, but I think the teeth are more so
well, then why
trophy.
leave them? Like, right?
I don't,
Why leave them
but
in the
that's what I'm
car then
saying.
if they are
Like,
important?
you probably leave them because that's just your hiding space or whatever for your trophies. Because if he needed them to transform into different people, he would probably keep that on him. I'm assuming, maybe. I don't know. But I don't know, man. Listen, I don't know. I don't know.
I think nobody other than creators actually knows.
Yeah.
This is part of the fun. Like, we can discuss this probably for hours and hours. But for me, it's midnight already. Already over. Like, almost. It's 12:17. So we're probably gonna wrap up, and I am. It's not because I'm tired of this conversation. I could easily talk to you for hours. I want to ask you, what do you think about the suitcase being in the caves and being the same suitcase that the man in yellow used, but then it had like this wedding gown, and now it has the Sophia clothes? And what do you think about the bones actually being maybe something that holds the souls, because now they need to find them? Good children bones and teeth are also. We can talk so much here because we are, both of us are so deep in this, and there's so much information. So maybe one day we're gonna get together again, have some conversation about this.
Yeah, we could do that.
I had a lot of fun. I think the chat has also had fun. I think I broke my English channel record. I like my Russian speaking channel record. I had 2,000 people on my live stream last
Very
week.
nice.
In English, we had like 777, which is 400, I think, more than I used to get. And thanks to you and your poll here. So I would love to you be guest on my channel. I'd love to be guest on your channel, even though I don't have the same pool as you are. I'm probably not going to bring enough audience to your channel. But yeah, it's just, I'm going to let you say like, goodbye to everybody, of course, but this is something that I'm just saying it because I need to say it. Like, the main reason why I started to do my YouTube channels, first I did it in Hebrew, then I moved into Russian, and then I started to do English. Now I do both Russian and English, is because I didn't have enough people around me to talk about things that I geek out about. This is why my channel is called Geekarmy. I don't really enjoy movies or TV shows. I obsess about them, right? I'm not think I don't think it's a problem. I don't want to go out living my life being cool about everything. I want to be crazy about some things. I want to be crazy about my wife, about my kid, about the TV shows that I watch. Like, this is the way to live. And now that I have so many people watching my videos, writing comments, and having conversation with people that I just watch on the screen and I admire from the screen, and I have talking to you eye to eye, we're having this conversation and just meeting you, real enigmas and theories, Tara and Mathero. I'm just feeling blessed at this point, and I'm so grateful for you joining in and talking to me about things that we both love. So thank you, and thank you again for the interviews, because I use them and okay. I like, they are incredible. So thank you so much. And if you want to say something to the chat here,
yeah, I mean, listen, first and foremost, man, thank you so much for the invite. I know people were like, when are you and Igor going to get together? When are you guys going to talk? You got to talk. And I'm like, listen, it's going to happen. It will happen. Okay. Trust me. But yeah, so thank you so much for having me on. And of course, like, I share in that same passion, right? Like, if I don't have my heart into anything, I'm just not gonna do it. Like, I'm not here for the, listen, I got 3 kids. So, and a dog. So yes, I'd love to make the money, but if it's not here, if I don't feel it, if I'm not obsessed about it, like you said, I'm not gonna do it because I'm cheating the audience, right? Like, they are here because you're passionate about what you do. I'm passionate about what I do. And that is infectious. That is where we get our tribe. That is where we get to talk with one another. So I am definitely, committed to that. And just, if I can give unsolicited advice, keep going. The number one thing that people miss out on is giving up too soon. It took me 3.5 years, I think, being on YouTube. Only had 700 subscribers. After three and a half years, 700 something subscribers, and I had over 200 something videos. Nobody cared, right? Like, shout out to the people that were there at day one, but nobody cared. I was a nobody. And then out of nowhere, I started doing Marvel theories, and then I did this, and then this video had 1 million views. Then this video had another million, and then, it snowballed after that. So do not be discouraged. It's not about how big you get. It's about how consistent you are. And what I've always said is that, especially if you're just starting out, and this is for anybody as well, when you're just starting out, nobody cares. And that's okay, because nobody's going to be there to watch you make any mistakes. If you look at someone as big as Mr. Beast, nobody's watching his very first video. Yeah. Everybody's looking for his latest video, right? So, like, when you keep going and you do this, what you're doing is creating a library of content for the next Geek Academy, subscriber. And they'll be like, oh my gosh, how did I miss Igor all this time? Look at all this great stuff. I'm subscribed. By the way, all of you guys, I hope you subscribe right now. I hope you're doing that.
And you hit that like button.
Hit that button. But yeah, no. And to the chat, hey, come on now. We family, right? So listen, Igor, you guys, we all here together. That's what matters the most. That's what I love. Everything I put out there, whether it's an interview, whether it's a theory, whether it's a breakdown, it's for you guys. It's a labor of love for all of you. And we would not be here if it was not for you. So thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing our videos. Thank you for liking. Thank you for hyping. Thank you for the super chats. Listen, we got babies. We got to feed our babies too. Okay. So thank you for the chat. And I can't thank all of you guys enough. And again, man, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Last question. What should we expect after from you?
After from? I don't know. I don't even know what's after from. I told you I'm from. Right now, I haven't even looked that far. Do you know what you can expect after from? Me and Igor are going to connect again. That's what you can expect.
Oh,
that's
I'm gonna hold you into this.
That's okay.
Because after the season is over, I'm gonna be off my leash. I'm gonna ask you whatever I want.
I'm telling you now, after this season, after this season finale, we have a lot to talk about. A lot.
Yes, I'm happy to hear this. I'm going to add, I would love to see you on Silo and on Widow's Bay. Both of the TV show really need more deep dives. They have the mystery aspect, even though Silo is based on the book, but I choose not to read the book because I want to enjoy the story, how it unfolds. So thank you so much, Iman. It is one of my favorite live streams. I had a lot of fun, and I had a lot of fun with the chat. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day, good morning, good night, whenever you're watching from. And tomorrow, you're going to see both of our reviews, episode 9. I think it's going to be a blast. Peace, everybody. I'm going to see you on the next one. Bye. And the stream is over. And